Today, I'm going to be giving myself 4 seasons to rebuild the Michigan Wolverines, and the goal is to win them a national championship. And obviously, this is new for the channel, man. I mean, I usually just do Madden, but a lot of you have been asking for a college football video, so I'm gonna hook you up with a college football video. But this is what Michigan's team looks like to start things off. I mean, they definitely aren't terrible, but we really need to get a quarterback. I mean, I feel like things are probably going to play out the same way it did this season for Michigan. I don't think we're going to be below 500 or anything like that, but I really can't see this team making it to the playoffs, but who knows, man. I mean, we could make a push because our defense is loaded. But anyways, I mean, in week 2, we have probably our biggest test of the season because we're going to be taking on the Texas Longhorns. And if we can sneak out of this one with a dub, that is definitely going to be a statement win for Michigan. But I honestly wouldn't get our hopes up, even though that's a really solid run to start things off. I mean, as I said, our quarterback is pretty garbage right now, so hopefully we can just rely on the running game for the most part. But I'm going to try and go for Loveland, who is wide open. I mean, Michigan did kind of turn things up near the end of the season after beating Ohio State and Alabama back-to-back, so maybe we can have that momentum right now. That is not at all what I was looking for, though. I was too late to try and get the ball off there, so that's going to go for a massive sack. So now it's 3rd and 8, and it looks like we're probably not going to get the first. Never mind, we got a guy wide open. I'm going to try something that I honestly might regret, but our tight end is definitely the best receiver on this team, so I'm going to try and get Loveland open. And it looks like it's going to be picked off. That is already an awful start for Michigan. I mean, that Texas defense does not play around, so it's going to be tough to score any points today. But after that, it looks like our defense did kind of clutch up. I mean, they only allowed 3 points, which is obviously a lot better than allowing a touchdown, and we're already back in scoring position. That is going to bring up another 3rd down, though, so I'm just going to try and go for Morris, and hopefully he can get some separation. But if he's locked up, we're going to have a bit of an issue. He's going to be there, though, so that's gonna put us in the red zone. We might have already been in the red zone before that. I honestly can't remember what yard we were at before we threw that ball, but either way, 6 yards I'm hoping won't be too much of an issue, and it looks like we're just short with Edwards. He's a pretty solid running back, though, so I mean, 1 more yard should not be too difficult for a guy like this, and it looks like he is gonna sneak in for the touchdown. So Edwards is gonna get our first touchdown of the season, which is actually gonna give Michigan the lead, but I don't think it's gonna last very long. But to my surprise, after that, it looks like we actually went on a bit of a tear, and we are going to pull off a massive upset in week 2 over the Texas Longhorns. So that is definitely a good sign for this team. I mean, as I said, I'm really not expecting to make the playoffs or anything like that in year number 1, but if we can play like this all year, we actually have a solid chance to win the Big Ten. But to my surprise, the Wolverines actually went on an absolute tear this season, because we're going to go 10-2 to finish as the 2nd ranked team, and it looks like we're going to be taking on the Oregon Ducks in the Big Ten championship game. Oregon seems to be a pretty dominant team right now, though, because they are winning 14-0, so we got to make sure that we get in the end zone on this drive, because if we don't, things might get ugly. I mean, I don't think we're going to really have a chance to come back if we go down by 3 scores, because we are already in the 3rd quarter right now. That should be a 1st down. Dude got absolutely smoked, man, so I'm just going to play it safe and keep it on the ground, because that was a hospital throw right there. I'm going to try this route again, though, man, because so far, Oregon has been shutting pretty much everything I run down, so I only have a few plays that have actually been working today, and this is one of them. I mean, that's not going to be enough to give us a 1st down, but we only need a couple of inches, so I'm hoping that Edwards can pick this up for us, and it looks like we're good. He's going to have the 1st down and a whole lot more, so that's going to give Michigan some life, man. I mean, now we're in scoring position. I'm going to see throwing on the run with this guy's kind of garbage, but it did work. I'm going to try and go for Loveland and see if he can get open here. This is going to be his last season, which definitely sucks. I mean, losing him is going to be a big hit for this team, but I'm pretty sure we did actually recruit a solid tight end, so we should have another superstar tight end next year. But it looks like Loveland is going to be in to cut the lead in half, but either way, it doesn't matter, because we just got absolutely overpowered by the Oregon Ducks. So the Ducks are going to be the Big Ten champions for this season. But to end off year number 1, it looks like the Heisman is going to be going to Dylan Gabriel, which makes sense because Oregon Michigan was absolutely dominant. And to start off the college football playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions. And this is what I was afraid of, man. I mean, it looks like we're starting to show our true colors in the playoffs because we got absolutely dominated by Oregon in the Big Ten championship game, and it looks like it's pretty much the same story here. I mean, we're losing by 14 points to Penn State right now, and we don't really have a whole lot of time to come back. So I'm trying to get in the end zone as quickly as I can here because I have a feeling that our defense is probably going to be giving up more points the next drive. That should be a first down. We're going to have our backup tight end wide open. Or I shouldn't say backup tight end, but we had our second tight end open. So that's going to bring the ball into scoring position. So 34 yards to go and we're in. The problem is the run game's really getting shut down today, which is pretty much the main reason that Penn State has been so dominant. I mean, we thrive on the running game and we have not been able to get it to work out for us today. So they're just shutting everything down. I'm going to try and go for a bit of a shot here though, man. I mean, if Morgan can get open, that should go for a touchdown. Actually, we're just going to keep this on the ground with Warren, who's got the first down. I mean, this drive definitely isn't looking bad for us, but on the downside, we have killed a lot of clock, which at this point, I feel like we really can't afford. Penn State did bring up a third down after that as well. I'm just going to go back to the run game, which as I said, hasn't really been great today, but either way, it looks like Edwards is going to punch it in. So that is going to make it a one-score lead once again. So now we just got to hope that our defense can get a stop. But as you can see, I mean, it looks like we are going to fall just short to Penn State. We did put up a pretty good fight because after getting dominated by Oregon, I thought we were going to get dominated again. And this game was actually pretty close. But either way, that's going to knock us out of the playoffs. And I can't believe I forgot to show this because this is one of the biggest moments of Michigan's season. But as you can see, it looks like we did end up beating Ohio State this year. But to end off year number one, it looks like Oregon's going to cap off their dominant season with a national championship win over Utah. But that's going to bring us to our first offseason of the video. And as you can see, I wouldn't say we did a great job at recruiting, but we did do pretty solid. I mean, we got 2 4-star quarterbacks who should be very important in this video. And I'm also pretty excited about this 5-star wide receiver who should be an absolute threat for this offense. I mean, as I said, we could have done better, but we were still a top 20 class in the nation. But this is what the team looks like heading into year number 2 after the training results. I mean, we have a 90 overall defense, which should carry the team. So that's definitely good to see. And we do have some really solid pieces. Our quarterback, Jaden Davis, is only an 81 overall, but I feel like this guy should progress pretty nicely for us. And our running back is also an 84 overall, which isn't great. But again, I feel like our defense is going to carry this team. But in year number 2, it looks like Michigan fell off in the worst way because we are unranked at 5-6 right now. And our only chance to finish off the season with a 500 record is if we knock off Ohio State. So this is pretty much our national championship of the season because this team is obviously not going to be making the playoffs. I'm going to keep it on the ground with our running back though, who is a superstar right now. So our running back, Jordan Marshall, is the best player on this offense. So we probably want to involve him as much as we can. We got the tight end wide open though, so that's going to be a first down. I'm really tempted to go for a shot right now, but the chances of that working against Ohio State are pretty low. So I'm just going to play it safe and go for easy routes. And it looks like we are going to have Morgan open. I really want to try and get a tight end route to work out for us. So I'm going to try and go for Klein and see if he can get open. I mean, if he gets the separation I want him to, that could be a touchdown, but it looks like that's not going to happen. We are going to have the wide receiver open. I'm pretty sure that was Morris that caught that. So that's going to put us almost in the red zone. We're at the 22-yard line now, and it looks like the running back's got some decent yardage. He didn't get away for as much as I was hoping he would there, but I'm just going to keep it on the ground with him because he seems to be the only really dominant player on this offense, but he's going to get caught pretty quickly there. So it looks like we're going to be putting the ball back in the air. I'm just going to try and go back for Klein because he did get wide open for us last time, and he's going to be there again for the first. I mean, it seems like our tight end has been really reliable for us so far, which is nice to see. I'm just going to, oh, dude, we got that. Cabana's going to be in for the touchdown. So that is going to give the Michigan Wolverines a 7-0 lead to start things off. We're coming back out here in the third quarter though, and as you can see, Michigan has actually been pretty dominant in this game. I mean, this is by far our most important game of the season, and we are up by 10 points right now, which is good for us. I mean, Ohio's 8-3, so this also isn't the best Ohio team, but they still have a chance to get in the playoffs if they beat us here. But if we beat them, that's going to totally ruin their chances of making the playoffs. It is 4th down as well, so I don't know how smart it is to go for this, but it is going to pay off for us. So with 6 yards to go, I'm just going to hand the ball back to Marshall and see if he can punch this in for a touchdown. touchdown, but it looks like the O-line is gonna collapse. Thing is, he actually almost got away there too. I mean, that was pretty close to working out for us, but that did not happen, and we're gonna get sacked. I mean, that's not exactly how I wanted things to end, but either way, I mean, I feel like we just gotta take the field goal at this point so we get some points on the board. It looks like there's gonna be a roughing the kicker call though, so we have another chance to score. I mean, that is a massive screw up from Ohio's defense, man, because if we score here, I know we still have a whole quarter to be played. No way we just fumbled the ball, man. That is crazy. Ohio's gonna get it back. And after that, they did end up scoring a touchdown. And as you can see, they also have possession right now. And that almost put them in scoring position. So now the game is on the line for us, man. I mean, that fumble really screwed this team, because if Ohio State scores, that is probably gonna do it, because I don't think this offense will have time to go down the field and score again. But that interception should pretty much seal this game. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything different out of Ohio State versus Michigan. This game came right down to the wire, but that interception did seal the game for us. So that is another big win over Ohio to ruin their chances of making the playoffs. But to end off the season, it looks like Connor Wegman is going to be winning the Heisman, but that's going to bring us to the national championship. And in year number 2, it looks like Alabama is going to lose to Texas A&M. But anyways, that's going to bring us to another offseason, and no surprise, we have a lot of players leaving once again, but the only one that's really worth noting is Kenneth Grant, and I guess Barham is also going to be a pretty big hit for the defense. But since we couldn't make the playoffs this season, I want to say we struggled to recruit players, but we definitely didn't do as good as last year. But I mean, it looks like we did still get some really solid recruits for this team. I mean, we're not in the top 20 or anything like that this time, but we are still in the higher half, and I feel like this is definitely a year to be excited about the offense, because after the training results, it looks like Marshall, our running back, is now a 93 overall, and the 5-star wide receiver that we recruited last year is also a 93 overall. Our quarterback's an 84 still, which is solid. I mean, we can definitely work with that. But yeah, man, I mean, I feel like the roster is actually looking quite a bit better than what it was last season. And in year number 3, once again, it looks like the Wolverines balled out, because we are currently the 7th ranked team in the nation with a 10-1 record, and we have a massive game to end off the season against Ohio State, who is the 2nd ranked team in the nation, and they are also 10-1. And I mean, just as expected, it looks like this has been a really good game up to this point. We're down by 4 though, so I gotta make sure that we get in the end zone on this drive. I'm gonna try and go for our wide receiver Coxie though, who does have some legs on him, so if he can get separation, this guy should be gone, and it looks like that's gonna be a good gain. I'm gonna try and get him in the end zone right here. Actually, I guess we'll go for Morgan, who also looks to be a superstar now. I mean, our players on this team seem to have done a really good job of progressing. That's a first down right there with Davis, who almost got us in the 5. Hopefully 9 yards won't be a problem either way though. I'm just gonna keep it on the ground with Marshall and see if we can get some blocks from our O-line. We should be good. We're not gonna have the touchdown yet though, because we are gonna get stopped 1 yard short. So I guess we'll bring Cabana out and see if he can punch this in for us, and it looks like we're gonna be good. So that's gonna give the lead back to Michigan, and that touchdown's really important because we all know that this game is probably gonna come right down to the final play. And it looks like I was right, because we're back out here with a 1-point lead in the 4th quarter. So if we can hold these guys off for like 30 something seconds, we are gonna sneak out with the win. That would have been a huge play, but our defense clutched up and got the stop there. So that's gonna make it 2nd down. Obviously it's 4th down territory at this point, so we do need to get them stopped 4 times. And if they get into field goal position, we're probably done for. That's gonna hurt us a lot. I mean, at this point, I'm honestly just hoping that we can find a way to get a turnover or something, because I'm pretty sure that is how our game ended last season. That sack should be big for us. And we got another stop after that too. So just like that, it is 4th and 6. If Ohio gets into field goal range, we might be in trouble, but one more stop. Oh my God, I saw that. That was illegal contact. That might give us an L. We might be good though, because that's still not quite gonna put them in field goal range. So they're gonna have to go for a Hail Mary here, and the clock's gonna run out. So this is gonna be the final play of the game, and it looks like we're gonna end things off with another interception. So just like last time, this thing's gonna end off with a 1-score win, but the difference is this time we literally won by 1 point. I mean, it can't get any closer than that. And since we won that game, it looks like we are gonna be playing against Nebraska for the Big Ten championship. Once again, we find ourselves in another nail biter. I mean, we're tied up at 17 with 20 seconds left, but as you can see, we're in perfect position to walk this thing off. I mean, mean, I'm just going to let the clock run as much as I can, and hopefully we can get in here with a last-second touchdown. I mean, it looks like we're going to be good. So that is going to give Michigan a 7-point lead, and there's only going to be around like 9 seconds on the clock. So that should pretty much do it. I mean, now all we got to do is make sure that Nebraska doesn't finish this game with a Hail Mary, and we should be your Big Ten champions this season. And it looks like that is... Oh, he almost caught the rebound, actually. That was close. But it looks like that's going to do it. So Michigan is going to be your Big Ten champions in year number 3. But to end off year number 3, it looks like Avery Johnson is going to be winning the Heisman this season. But to start off the postseason for us, we're going to be taking on LSU in the Orange Bowl. And so far, it looks like this has been another really close game. I mean, we're all tied up at 21 in the 4th quarter, but if we can manage the clock properly here, I feel like we could get in for a last-second touchdown. So I'm probably just going to keep the ball on the ground for a little bit. I mean, either way, our run game has been insane today. I mean, to be fair, I feel like Marshall is the best running back in the nation right now. It looks like LSU is starting to burn their timeouts, though, so we're still going to leave a lot of time on the clock for him either way. So I'm just hoping that we can get in for a touchdown here, and it looks like we're going to be good. So that touchdown could be the one to do it, but we still need to rely on our defense to close this thing out. LSU is not going to be going out without a fight, though, because they did get into scoring position after that. So we got to make sure that we get a stop from this defense, and that is going to be an interception to seal it. I mean, it seems like every time that we need a clutch play from our defense, they somehow come down with an interception. So that is going to send us to the next round, and it looks like we have another pretty good game on our hands, because we're going to be taking on 13-2 Clemson in the Sugar Bowl. And right now it looks like Michigan is in control of Clemson. I mean, we're up 10-3, so if we can score here, that will make it a 2-score lead for the Wolverines. I'm going to go for another run with Marshall, and if we can get some solid yardage here, I might try and go for our wide receiver, who has obviously been absolutely dominant today. I mean, I'm actually just going to try and go for a shot and see if he can get away. I mean, this honestly should work out for us, because if he can get any separation at all, this guy should be gone, because his legs are absolutely crazy. Nobody's gonna catch him, so that's gonna go for a touchdown from Coxie. And that is another big touchdown for Michigan, because that's gonna make it a 2-score lead. And it looks like the Wolverines did not slow down after that. I mean, we're gonna absolutely dominate Clemson, who was apparently no match for this team. And USC absolutely dominated Ohio State, so it looks like we're gonna be taking them on in the national championship game. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed, because I feel like an Ohio State versus Michigan national championship game would have been absolutely nuts, man. But either way, USC is a really solid team. They are currently winning by 2 points, so we got to make sure that we get in the end zone here. I mean, you guys have seen what our wide receiver has been doing today, so I'm going to see if he can get away again, because I feel like this guy is honestly like our Tyreek Hill right now. This is going to be almost a first down on the ground, though. He was locked up there, so I couldn't go for him. I'm going to try and go for another run with Marshall, though, because we only need 3 yards for the first down, and it looks like we are almost gonna have it, but I guess we are just short, so we got to go for one more run to pick this up. And I feel like Marshall should have it this time, as long as we get the blocks that we need, and he is gonna have that. So that's gonna give us a fresh set of downs. I guess we have 2 Marshalls on this team. I didn't realize that until now, but we also have a tight end named Marshall. That kind of threw me off for a second, but it looks like we're gonna have the tight end wide open. So 3 yards to go, and we're in for another touchdown. I mean, the run game's been working for us, so I'm just gonna stick to it, and it looks like Marshall is gonna get in for the score. So that touchdown is gonna give the lead to the Michigan Wolverines. We're back out here in the 4th quarter, though, and we have a chance to ice this game, because as you can see, we're up 14-9 with 2 minutes on the clock, and we've gotten ourselves back into scoring position. So I mean, I'm kind of trying to burn their timeouts, but a touchdown either way should pretty much put this thing out of reach. I mean, it would be pretty impressive if they... Oh, that was a bad throw. That was a bad throw. We're gonna have to go on defense to end it. I actually can't believe that we just threw an interception, man. I mean, we let that thing hang in the air for way too much time. That was 100% my fault. So now we just got to sit here and wait, and hopefully our defense can get these guys off the field. I mean, a 4-and-out would be great right now. I mean, our defense has been dominating all game. They've only allowed 9 points, and that is another interception from the defense, which should pretty much do it. I mean, this defense has been getting a lot of huge interceptions today, but I feel like that one right there is by far the biggest one of the season, and that first down will definitely do it. So now all we gotta do is take a knee, and this thing is officially over. So the Michigan Wolverines in year number 3 are gonna be your national champions. So it looks like we're not even gonna need the 4 seasons because we did it in 3. I mean, I had a good feeling about this team because they just felt different this year. I mean, the 5-star wide receiver that we recruited played a big part in this, and so did Marshall, our running back. And I'm also happy with the way that Davis progressed because our QB was on a tear as well. But as you can see, to end things off, the Michigan Wolverines are going to be winning a well-deserved national championship. But that's going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know down below if you want to see more college football videos because I'd definitely be down for that. But don't worry, I'm not done with Madden. We're still going to have a bunch of Madden on the channel. But anyways, I mean, if you guys made it to this part, make sure you comment your favorite college football team. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.